and welcome back. Today we're doing puzzle number 84 in the Fiendish Logic Puzzle book from Puzzle Baron and Stephen P. Ryder. This one's called Old Trees. We have 7 old trees with names that are 7 different heights, increments of 3 feet, in 7 different locations and 7 different ages. Now, some quick housekeeping. As I'm sure you could tell, this is not my first attempt to solve this. And I got pretty far into the puzzle, as you can see from all the marks, but just couldn't solve it, so I had to start over. And before we start, one more thing. By the time this is scheduled to come out, it will be many months later, but right now, I recently got a new subscriber. So shout out to Cola. Thank you for subscribing. All right. So let's get into it. We have number one. Number 1. Of the senator and the tree in Benton Notch. One is 156 feet tall, the other is 85 years old. Now, quite often with these puzzles, when you get to the first clue, and it's like this one, you don't know, you can't really solve it, but you can, look at what else the clue is telling you. This time we can solve it right away. We just gotta look to drop down to clue number 5, and we see that Benton Notch cannot be the 156-foot tall tree. Therefore, it must be the 85-year-old, and the senator must be the 156-foot tall tree. In fact, I'll use a different color. And Benton Notch is 85. Oops. So maybe the first time in this video series that we got the first clue right off the bat, but only because I've already done this puzzle and I knew to look down to the following clue. All right. Number 2, the tree in Wadden Woods and the second oldest tree are 150 feet and 156 feet in some order. So we have 2 in the same category. We know that Wadden Woods and the second oldest tree, that's 96, can have to be 150 or 156. We also know that the 156 is the senator, but we don't know if the senator is in Wadden Woods or if it's the second oldest tree yet, so we'll keep that in mind. All right, number 3. Nolan's pine is 15 feet shorter than the 87-year-old tree. All right, so if Nolan's pine is the shortest, then the least the 87-year-old can be is 15 feet taller than that, which should take it all the way to 159, and if 87 is the tallest, and the tallest Nolan's pine can be is 147, so that makes a big difference for 15 feet difference. Number 5, neither the youngest tree nor Old Jarvis is the one in Knox Woods. So Old Jarvis is not the youngest tree, and it's not in Knox Woods. Neither is the 79. Okay. The tree in Silk Notch is taller than the Evans fir, which itself is taller than Zeke's spruce. So first off, neither Zeke's nor Evans trees are Silk Notch. Okay, so if Zeke's is the shortest, Evans fir could be here, and Silk Notch can be here. And if Silk Notch is the tallest, Evans fir can be here. Number 6, marsh tree is 9 feet taller than the one in Eldora Woods. So if Eldora Woods is the shortest, then the shortest the marsh tree can be is 9 more than that. It gives us to 53. And, but marsh tree can't be 156, so Eldora Woods can't be 9 more than that. Oh, it doesn't matter, I guess. No, it can. No, 9 less than that, so can't be 147. Good. And then, if it's the tallest, okay, and back to clue number 7, because 5 of the trees are the 94-year-old, the 2 in Benton Notch and Deloitte Woods, the 156-foot tree, and the tallest tree. Okay. Number 8. Of the 150-foot tall tree and the marsh tree, one is 96, the other is 79. Now let's look back at number 2. Because here, the 150 feet has to either be the second oldest, that's 96, or Wadden Woods. So in both cases, 150 could be the second oldest, so it has to be. Because let's say it wasn't 96, it was 79. Then here, well, I guess it would still work because it would be, well, because Wadden Woods could be 79, but how do I explain it? So if the 150 wasn't 96, it would be 79. Then 79 would be Wadden Woods. Well, I'm pretty sure 150 has to be 96, but I guess we can keep it up in the air if we want, until we know that Wadden Woods. Alright. Zeke's spruce is either the one in Deloitte Woods, or the one that is 147 feet tall. Deloitte Woods can't be 147 feet tall. Silk Notch is either the 156 or the one that is 94. So 156 is not 94. We already knew that. And finally, the 80-year-old tree is shorter than Benton Notch. So 80, well, we already know it's not Benton Notch. Can't be the tallest, and Benton Notch can't be the shortest. Oh, and of course. All right. So we still have that 156 is the senator, but we'll keep going. All right, let's clean up the board a bit before we keep going. I know it's confusing with all these old check marks and poorly erased lines. Oh, the marsh tree has to... Okay, the marsh tree can't be 150 feet. We already knew that. It's to either be 79 or 96. And if it's 96... then it could be 150 or 165. Or 156, excuse me. Actually, okay, I can prove it now. All right, so the marsh tree must be 9 feet taller than Eldora Woods. That means it can't be 150 or 156. Well, it can't be 156 because Eldora, because that's taken. And it can't be 150 because of that. And the second oldest, rather, that is 96, and it has to either be 150 or 156. So since marsh tree can't be 150 or 156, it can't be 96 years old, it has to be 79. And that means the 150 footer is 96. And that means the second oldest is 150, as we said. And that means Watt and Woods is the 156-foot tall one. And that's the senator. And of course, lovely. Okay. Okay, so as we said before, so 79 is the Marsh's pine. It can't be the senator. Okay, so the youngest tree and Old Jarvis, neither of these can be Knox Woods. So the marsh tree can't be Knox Woods. Looking at, well, the marsh tree is the one that is taller than, can't be Eldora Woods either. So we're looking at Deloitte Woods or York Woods. Zeke's spruce has to either be Deloitte Woods or any location that could be 147 feet. So not Eldora Woods, not Silk Notch, obviously not Woden Woods, that's taken. I guess we just eliminated Eldora Woods, but that's something. Be there, right? Silk Notch is either the 156-footer or the 94-year-old. And 156 is Woden Woods, so it has to be the 94-year-old. Okay, good. The Silk Notch is taller than Evans, which is taller than Zeke's. Okay, so now this is the tallest Silk Notch can be, so this is the tallest Evans fir can be, so neither of these can be Silk Notch, right? Maybe a little color will make it easier to see. That's nice. Cleaning up the board a bit. You know anything about the oldest tree? Looks like Silk Notch is either Old Jarvis or Rogers Oak. Okay, so it looks like 87 also can only be Old Jarvis or Rogers Oak because most of it doesn't line up, and in case of the marsh tree, that's 79, that's a different one. So that means Old Jarvis and Rogers Oak are 70, 87 and 94 in some order, we don't know which yet. Alright, and that also tells us that we can cross out any one that can't be both. Old Jarvis. Great. Wait a minute, what did I just do? Because it's 84, 87, and 94, right? What did I just do? So, 87, 94, 94, right? Definitely not. That could be 94, so that's good. So already gone. Good. Okay. And this part, last time I did this, I couldn't really explain why, but if you try it out, you'll see. 150 can't be the Zeke spruce because Evans fir has to be taller than Zeke spruce. So it would have to go here, in which case we'd have two that could only be Nolan's pine. Because, yeah. So that tells us that this one can't be Zeke spruce, because if it is, then Evans fir would have to be here, in which case there'd be nothing down here in the shorter trees. And just because Zeke spruce is here, it wouldn't necessarily mean Evans fir had to be here, except that all the other trees can't be that height, so Evans fir becomes our 150. Other color. Lovely. Now, Silk Notch has to be taller than that, which it already is. And Zeke spruce has to be shorter with that, which it already is. Than that, which it already is. And 150 is the second oldest tree, so Zeke's fir becomes 96. So Evans fir, according to clue number 7, it has to be either Benton Notch, Deloitte Woods, or it's just not on the list. But it's an incomplete list. All right, I see 2 heights, 2 rows that can only be 80 or 99. So no one else could take those heights. And I believe we've just found our 85 because that's Benton Notch, right? So 79 is Marsh Tree. Well, Marsh Tree has to be 9 foot taller than whatever. 80 has to be less than 85. Why can't 80 be? Oh, 80 and 99 we just crossed out. So 85, 87 has to be 15 more. 94 is Silk Notch, which has to be more than 2 others. And then 96 is 150, so that's taken. Yep, so that leaves 85 right there. And 85 is Benton Notch. Good. Also, didn't color in this one. Great. And the 80-year-old tree has to be shorter than Benton Notch, and there's only one left that's shorter. So 80 goes here, and that means 99 goes here. Looks like we have 80, 85, 96, 99, our first complete set. Okay, that should have already been there. Lovely. So Nolan's Pine is either 80 or 85. Oh, we already knew that. Same for Zeke's Spruce. Okay, I have that. I have that the marsh tree... Oh, yeah. Obviously, the marsh tree can't be Eldora Woods. So... Oh, wait. No. Okay, so it looks like Eldora Woods can only be 80 or 96. This is great. 80 is here, 96 is here, right? Okay, and the marsh tree is 9 more than Eldora Woods, so... Lovely, perfect, we're getting somewhere. We're getting somewhere now. So now 162 has to be Old Jarvis or Rogers Oak, which has to be 87 or 94. Yeah, so 162 now has to be 87 or 94, and it can't be 94, so it must be 87. Oh, wrong one. Right. Which gives us our Nolan's Pine, 15 feet less than that. Which gives us our Zeke's Spruce. That's where I got stuck last time, but finding that Eldora Woods thing, that's the ticket. Oops, it's fine. So Zeke's Spruce is not 147. So it must be Deloitte Woods. That means it's on the list, by the way. And it's a complete set. 80. And that gives us our 85 as well. Aha, and that gives us our York's Woods. Wrong color again. York's Wood is the marsh tree, that's the 79. York Woods. And that gives us our Knox Woods, which cannot be Old Jarvis. So it must be Rogers Oak. And that's 87. That means Old Jarvis is 94. And that means it's Silk Notch. Our Eldora Woods, and then 9 more than that is 159. So Old Jarvis goes here, and that's Silk Notch. Great. That should be just about everything. nothing. So here we go. Last one here. Okay. Okay, so it looks like 144 is Zeke Spruce, who is 80 and in Deloitte Woods. Good. And then we have 147 is Nolan's Pine, who is 85 in Benton Woods, Benton Notch. All right, and then 150 is Evans Fir in Eldora Woods, and 96. Okay, then 153 is Old Jarvis. Was 94 in Silk Notch. .156 is the Senator, who is 99 in Wadden Woods. 159 is Marsh Tree, who's 79 in York Woods. And finally, Rogers Oak is 87 in Knox Woods. And I tried to fill out the board this time instead of waiting until we were done checking the answers. So let's check out the answers. Right at the top here. I see Zeke Spruce, Nolan's Pine, Evans Fir, Old Jarvis, the Senator, Marsh Tree, and Rogers Oak. 80, 85, 96, 94, 99, 79, 87, good. Deloitte Woods, Benton Notch, Eldora Woods, Silk Notch, Wadden Woods, York Woods, and Knox Woods. We got it. All right. Thank you for watching. I know this was a little bit of a messier one.